昨日午後4時頃、東京新宿区のマンションで知人とみられる男性を刺したとして、自称高岡由香容疑者が殺人未遂の疑いで逮捕されました。高岡容疑者は調べに対し、相手を殺して私も死のうと思ったと容疑を認めているということです。男性は重傷ですが、命に別状はないということです。
Kabukicho, Shinjuku, Tokyo. An ordinary afternoon turned into a nightmare when a man nearly lost his life from a severe abdominal injury. The person behind the tragedy, once considered his perfect love, ultimately paid the price with a prison sentence of 3 years and 6 months, along with a large compensation to the victim. At the center of this story is Yuka Takaoka. Born on January 28, 1998, she was the only daughter of a well-off family, loved and cared for by her parents. There had never been any sign that Yuka experienced hardship during her childhood. On the contrary, she was fully supported by her family, who hoped she would have a stable and successful future. After graduating from high school, Yuka pursued nursing, but it didn't take long for her to realize that the academic path wasn't what she truly wanted. With a desire for independence and a longing to make money quickly, Yuka decided to drop out and move to Shinjuku, the vibrant and modern heart of Tokyo. Amid the bright lights, electronics stores, shopping centers, movie theaters, and lively bars, she began a new life where opportunities and temptations went hand in hand. After a few weeks of job searching, Yuka was hired at a men's entertainment club located in Kabukicho, known as the most bustling district of Shinjuku. Her job was to chat with customers, serve drinks, and keep the atmosphere cheerful. Guests paid not for private services, but for the chance to talk, share, and find emotional connection. Although no behavior beyond social boundaries was permitted, simply listening and smiling at the right moment was often enough to make customers spend generously. Yuka's main role was to make them feel comfortable while subtly encouraging them to order more drinks, the primary source of the club's income. She adapted quickly, becoming one of the most noticed faces thanks to her beauty, gentle demeanor, and natural charm in conversation. At the same time as working at the club, Yuka began using social media as a way to express herself and share her passion for anime culture. She frequently posted elegant cosplay photos and cheerful dance videos on TikTok, quickly capturing the attention of online audiences. Within a short time, her follower count skyrocketed, turning Yuka into a rising figure, not only in the cosplay scene but also across Japan's social media landscape. Her growing fame even reached her workplace. Many customers came to the club hoping to be served by Yuka. Although staff assignments were always made by management, nearly everyone wished to be lucky enough to talk with her. With her attractive appearance, soft-spoken voice, and friendly manner, Yuka became one of the most requested employees at the club. By 2018, her reputation had spread widely, drawing small brands that approached her for promotions and invited her to be their representative face. That same year, thanks to her communication skills and graceful way of handling situations, Yuka was promoted to manager, a major milestone in her career. In her new role, she no longer interacted with customers as often, but her mere presence to greet and guide them to their tables was enough to energize the atmosphere. At just 20 years old, Yuka was at the peak of her success, beautiful, famous, and earning a remarkable income. Everything seemed to be pointing toward a bright future. But everything changed when she met a young man who would later lead her life down a path of tragedy no one could have foreseen. Phoenix Luna, whose real name was never revealed, was born in Tochigi Prefecture, a peaceful region far from the bustling capital of Tokyo. His childhood was far from easy. When he was just 6 years old, his parents separated, and instead of fighting for custody of their 7 children, they decided to send all of them to different care facilities. From that moment on, Luna grew up in a foster home where he had to share everything with other homeless children, from personal space to daily meals. He lived in cramped conditions, often enduring scolding and even disrespectful behavior from the staff. The young Luna was lonely and quickly realized that to survive, he could only rely on himself. For years, he lost all contact with his parents and siblings. By the time he turned 15, Luna was allowed to leave the foster home after completing his basic education. Without hesitation, he decided to live independently and start his adult life. At first, he took on physically demanding construction jobs, but that lasted only a few months due to the harsh environment and low pay. He later worked at cafes and bars, making friends with kind people who sometimes let him stay temporarily. Still, his unstable life often left him sleeping on the streets, wandering around with just a few coins in his pocket. During those cold, lonely nights, Luna promised himself that one day he would change his destiny. At 19, he decided to move to Tokyo, a city known as the Land of Opportunity. There, he quickly found a job at an upscale entertainment club for women called Club Fusion, located in the Kabukicho district of Shinjuku, the very same area where Yuka worked, though her club catered to men. Luna's job was to serve drinks, talk with guests, and create a pleasant atmosphere. His income depended on how many drinks he sold, earning a commission from each one. The club also provided staff housing in the same building, meaning he no longer had to worry about having a place to sleep. With his attractive appearance, polite demeanor, and smooth communication skills, Luna quickly became the center of attention. Many female customers began coming to the club just to be served by him. They adored his warm smile, refined way of speaking, and ability to make people feel truly heard. His stage name, Phoenix Luna, was chosen as a symbol of rebirth, a young man rising from the ashes of his past to rewrite his own destiny. Not long after he began working at Club Fusion, Phoenix Luna quickly climbed the ranks to become one of the most popular employees in the club. That position not only brought him a higher income, but also helped Club Fusion attract a large number of new customers. Luna's reputation spread rapidly throughout Kabukicho's nightlife scene. His clientele was diverse, ranging from middle-aged women who had recently gone through painful separations to hostesses from other clubs seeking a place to unwind after work. With his deep, soothing voice, attentive gaze, and thoughtful way of speaking, Luna made them feel respected and understood. The very women who had spent hours listening to others' stories were now the ones being genuinely heard by him. It wasn't just surface-level conversation. Luna offered them a sense of comfort and safety, something rare in that kind of environment. By 2018, Phoenix Luna's name had become well known among the hosts of Kabukicho. He officially made it into the top 5 most requested employees at Club Fusion, an impressive achievement for someone who had been working there for less than 2 years. Many female customers had to book days in advance just to spend a few hours sitting and talking with him. Luna understood his charm and skillfully used his grace and refined demeanor to make clients feel special, while subtly encouraging them to return again. And it was within that glamorous atmosphere that fate brought him together with Yuka Takaoka, in October of that same year. From the first moment they met, Yuka was drawn to Luna's calm presence and gentle way of speaking. What began as casual visits soon turned into frequent ones, each time with her specifically requesting Luna's company. Through their conversations, they gradually found a deep sense of connection. Two young people working in the nightlife industry, both knowing what it meant to smile for others even when feeling exhausted inside. To Luna, Yuka was no longer just a regular customer, but someone who truly listened to him. Their relationship quickly went beyond the boundaries of work. They started meeting outside of the club, going to the movies, grabbing coffee, and sharing rare, quiet moments amid Tokyo's fast-paced life. Although Club Fusion had strict rules prohibiting relationships between employees and clients, the two secretly continued seeing each other, believing it was simply a sincere bond between two people who understood one another. Thanks to Yuka's influence, Luna's fame grew even further. Many other women began visiting the club just to meet him in person, some even leaving gifts and notes expressing their admiration. From being in the top 5, Phoenix Luna quickly rose to become one of the most famous faces at Club Fusion. Everything seemed to be going perfectly. Both he and Yuka were thriving in their careers, enjoying fame, financial stability, and days filled with happiness. They were often seen together at elegant cafes, watching movies, or simply strolling through the brightly lit streets of Kabukicho. However, Yuka's admiration gradually crossed the line of ordinary affection. What began as love slowly turned into obsession. She no longer wanted any other woman to spend time with Luna, and would grow jealous even when he spoke with customers, something that was simply part of his job. To keep him all to herself, Yuka began spending large amounts of money, hiring Luna's services almost exclusively. In an industry driven by sales, this made Luna one of the club's top earners. After Yuka spent $8,000 in just a few weeks, Luna climbed to the #1 spot on Club Fusion's rankings, a rare achievement for someone so young and relatively new to the club. Many of his co-workers noticed the unusual closeness between them, but Luna didn't think much of it. To him, it was just part of the job. He failed to see that Yuka's feelings were turning increasingly possessive and out of control. For Luna, it was simply a special connection with a loyal client. For Yuka, it was the only and absolute love, something she was willing to do anything to keep, no matter the cost. May 20th, 2019, marked a turning point in the relationship between Yuka and Luna. There are several different accounts of what happened during this time. Some sources claim that the two decided to take their relationship to the next level by renting a small apartment together in the Kabukicho district of Shinjuku, known as the very heart of Tokyo's vibrant nightlife. The building they chose was located on a quiet street, home to many people working in the entertainment industry, from servers and hostesses to club presenters. Other reports, however, state that Yuka was the only one who officially rented the apartment, while Luna simply visited her frequently after work. Whatever the truth may be, one thing remains certain: that small apartment in Kabukicho, tucked away among narrow alleyways and glowing neon lights, became the starting point of a serious incident that would turn what seemed like a romantic love story into a tragedy that shook all of Japan. At around 4 o'clock in the afternoon on May 23, 2019, police in the Shinjuku district received an emergency call from an apartment complex located in Kabukicho. Residents nearby reported witnessing a strange and possibly dangerous scene. When officers arrived at the location, they were met with a sight that left everyone stunned. Right by the staircase of the building, Yuka Takaoka was sitting on the ground, calmly scrolling through her phone as if nothing unusual had happened. Her unsettling composure sent chills through those who saw her. Yet a quick glance around made it clear that something serious had just occurred. Her clothes and body were marked with visible traces of injury, while right beside her lay Phoenix Luna, motionless, showing clear signs of severe trauma, particularly around his abdomen. He was wearing only underwear, his face pale and nearly lifeless, barely moving. The scene froze passers-by in disbelief. Many stopped in shock, and some even took out their phones to record the bizarre contrast of the young woman's eerie calm amid the surrounding chaos. When an officer approached to question her, Yuka remained disturbingly calm. She showed no fear or confusion, her eyes still fixed on her phone screen, as if what was happening around her had nothing to do with her. It was only when paramedics lifted Phoenix Luna onto a stretcher and into the ambulance that she finally cooperated and began answering the officer's questions. In her initial statement, Yuka spoke softly, almost as if recounting an ordinary story, admitting that she was the one responsible for the serious incident that left her boyfriend gravely injured. She confessed that, in a moment of overwhelming emotion, she had attacked him with a sharp object because she loved him too much and couldn't control her feelings. Yuka stated that she had intended for both of them to end their lives so they could be together forever in another world, believing in her distorted state of mind that it was the only way to preserve their love unchanged. Soon after, police entered Yuka's apartment. Inside, they found clear signs of a violent struggle, with dark stains spread across the floor. A kitchen knife bearing traces of the attack was identified as the dangerous object she had used. During her second interrogation at the station, Yuka repeated the same story, insisting that she hadn't thought about the consequences. Only that if she couldn't be with Luna in this life, they could be together in another world. She also admitted that she never called for help, saying that in that moment, she intended to carry out a personal tragedy and end everything.
昨日午後4時ごろ、東京新宿区のマンションで知人とみられる男性を刺したとして、自称高岡由香容疑者が殺人未遂の疑いで逮捕されました。高岡容疑者は調べに対し、相手を殺して私も死のうと思ったと容疑を認めているということです。男性は重傷ですが、命に別状はないということです。
After giving her initial statement, Yuka Takaoka was arrested at the scene and charged with intentionally causing serious injury that endangered the life of Phoenix Luna. As she was escorted into the police vehicle, the media had already gathered outside. The image of Yuka, wearing clothes marked with dark stains, her face calm and a faint smile visible behind her large glasses, became the center of every camera lens. While Luna was fighting for his life in the intensive care unit, that image spread rapidly across newspapers and social media, sparking intense public debate throughout Japan. At first, people were shocked by the contrast between her delicate appearance and her violent actions. But then something strange happened. Instead of condemnation, a portion of internet users became fascinated. They claimed Yuka was too beautiful to be a suspect, turning her into the embodiment of a character type adored by anime enthusiasts known as the yandere, a term describing girls so consumed by love that they become dangerously obsessive. In anime, Yandere comes from the Japanese words yanderu and deredere, referring to someone who starts off gentle and sweet, but gradually becomes intense and unstable due to blind affection. Many began to view Yuka as the real-life version of this archetype. On social media, countless Twitter and Instagram accounts were created to idolize her. Users shared her old cosplay photos, TikTok dance clips, and even fan art depicting her as a fictional character. Within days, the name Yuka Takaoka became an internet sensation, drawing millions of views and comments. Yet her sudden fame didn't stem from empathy. It was fueled by morbid curiosity, a mix of fear and fascination. Some even compared her case to the infamous ending of the anime School Days, where a female character's blind obsession with love leads to a tragic outcome. As memes and animated references flooded the internet, Japanese media outlets began warning that the public was losing sight of the true severity of the incident. The online obsession with Yuka Takaoka quickly escalated to an unbelievable level. At its peak, a group of extreme fans launched a fundraising campaign on GoFundMe, aiming to collect a large sum of money to support Yuka through her legal process, and even to help her avoid prosecution for intentionally causing serious injury. Once authorities and the platform's administrators discovered the campaign, they immediately intervened, shutting it down and refunding all contributions. Still, the incident sparked widespread outrage, as it revealed how some young people had blurred the line between reality and the online world. Alongside those who idolized her, many others voiced strong opposition. They emphasized that Yuka was not an anime character or a romantic figure, but a real person who had caused a serious real-life incident. Social commentators pointed out that if Yuka hadn't been physically attractive, the public would not have been so forgiving. The Japan Times, one of Japan's most respected newspapers, published an article warning about this dangerous trend. It stated that romanticizing or excusing violent behavior simply because the perpetrator is attractive is unacceptable, as it distorts moral values and undermines the concept of justice. The article also recalled the notorious 1981 case of Issei Sagawa, a man who committed a horrific act against a Dutch student in France, only to later become a media curiosity. The Japan Times warned that society was repeating the same mistake by turning tragic real-life events into entertainment. The publication urged the public to see Yuka as she truly was, a young woman who lost control of her emotions and must be held accountable for her actions, rather than as a distorted internet icon fueled by curiosity and blind idolization. Public attention intensified when Phoenix Luna, the man involved in the incident, unexpectedly woke up after 5 days in a coma. Doctors revealed that when he was brought into the hospital, his chances of survival were only about 20%, as the deep wound in his abdomen had caused severe blood loss and damaged his liver. During the first days of recovery, Luna was unable to speak or sit up on his own and had to be fed through a tube due to his weakened condition. He lost weight rapidly and suffered from long periods of panic and insomnia brought on by fear and trauma. Psychologists were assigned to help him cope with the emotional aftermath. On July 1, 2019, Luna suddenly reappeared on social media. On his Twitter account, he wrote a short message: "Sorry, I'm still alive and I'm back." In a following tweet, he added, "Since my liver injury, I can't drink alcohol anymore." As his health gradually improved and he regained his ability to speak, Luna agreed to an exclusive interview with Soken Post, where he publicly shared his side of the story for the first time. During the interview, he clarified that much of what had been reported by the media was inaccurate. Luna stated that at the time of the incident, he was not living with Yuka as many had claimed, but was still staying in the employee dorm provided by Club Fusion. On the day of the event, he had only gone to Yuka's apartment, at her invitation, to help her tidy up the place. He also denied reports that he had confessed his love for Yuka while being attacked. Luna explained that he was terrified and thought he might not survive, so he said those words only in hopes that she would stop and give him a chance to live and call for help. When the reporter asked to see his injury, Luna agreed but refused to be photographed. He lifted his shirt to reveal a long, cross-shaped scar stretching from his chest down to his navel, a stark reminder of the horrifying experience he had endured. Luna also spoke about his loveless childhood, his lack of contact with his parents and 7 siblings, and how he considered his co-workers at Club Fusion to be his family. For that reason, his biggest goal after recovery was to return to work and continue the life he had fought so hard to build. Luna said he had no desire to hide the truth. Instead, he wanted to make everything public to end the false rumors and help people understand what really happened on that fateful night. In the early hours of May 23, 2019, inside her small apartment in the Kabukicho district, Yuka Takaoka sat waiting for Phoenix Luna. He had promised to stop by after work to help her clean the place, but as the clock approached 4 o'clock in the morning, Luna still hadn't arrived. The silence grew heavier, and Yuka's mind began to spiral. What started as worry turned into restless suspicion. She began imagining terrible scenarios, that he was with other women, that he no longer cared for her as he once did. Consumed by jealousy and insecurity, Yuka slowly lost control of her emotions. It wasn't until around 3 o'clock in the morning that Luna finally showed up. He was exhausted, explaining that he had just finished a long shift and needed to shower before helping her. While Luna was in the bathroom, Yuka, driven by doubt, picked up his phone and began scrolling through it. In his photo gallery, she found pictures of him serving drinks and chatting with female customers at the club. Although these were simply moments from his job, Yuka saw them as proof of betrayal. Her jealousy erupted, and her imagination spiraled, convincing her that Luna had formed intimate connections beyond what was professional. Anger consumed her. After a moment of turmoil, Yuka tried to calm herself, set the phone down, and lay on the bed. When Luna stepped out of the bathroom wearing only underwear, he lay down beside her, unaware of the storm that was about to break. According to Luna's later testimony, he only remembered feeling a sudden, searing pain in his abdomen. Then seeing Yuka holding a dangerous object, her hands trembling but her eyes filled with extreme emotion. Panicking and realizing the danger he was in, Luna told her that he loved her, hoping it would make her stop. His words caused Yuka to freeze. She dropped the object, fell silent for a moment, then began to cry, saying she would end her own life so that they could be together forever. Taking advantage of her brief distraction, Luna forced himself up, pushed Yuka aside, and rushed out of the apartment in search of help. However, weakened by blood loss and pain, he collapsed near the exit. In a state of panic and despair, Yuka dragged his body to the stairwell and sat beside him, calling a friend as if trying to regain her composure amid the chaos. Minutes later, neighbors heard the commotion, witnessed the strange scene, and immediately called the police. When authorities arrived, Luna was rushed to the hospital for emergency treatment. Despite suffering severe injuries, he miraculously survived. In a surprising twist, during his hospital stay, police efforts to locate his relatives led to his reunion with his brother and sister after 5 years of separation. They began communicating regularly, and for the first time in years, Luna felt the warmth of a real family once again. In December 2019, the trial of Yuka Takaoka took place at the Tokyo District Court, drawing widespread public attention across Japan. The defense argued that Yuka had acted under a temporary emotional disturbance, with no intention of causing such severe harm, and appealed for a lighter sentence along with a financial penalty. However, the prosecution presented a crucial piece of evidence that completely shifted the tone of the courtroom. It was a note discovered on Yuka's phone during the investigation, in which she had written that she wanted to become a tragic heroine, and that if she couldn't be with Luna in this life, she could only be with him forever in another world. This note revealed her distorted mindset and suggested that she had planned the act in advance. As a result, the prosecution requested a minimum sentence of 5 years in prison, emphasizing that Yuka's actions were deliberate and dangerous. After several days of hearings, on December 3, 2019, the court delivered its final verdict. Yuka Takaoka was sentenced to 3 years and 6 months in prison and ordered to pay 5 million yen, approximately $49,000, to Phoenix Luna as compensation for medical expenses and emotional damages. In delivering the judgment, the presiding judge stated that Yuka displayed possessive tendencies, acted impulsively, and focused only on her own emotions without considering the consequences. Upon hearing the sentence, Yuka broke down in tears, but many present in the courtroom believed those tears were more of regret for herself than genuine remorse for what she had done. Not long after the incident, Phoenix Luna gradually recovered both physically and mentally and decided to return to his job at Club Fusion, the very place where he had once rebuilt his life. His comeback drew significant attention, and many regarded Luna as a symbol of resilience and rare inner strength. Both colleagues and customers treated him with deep respect, not only because he had survived a serious ordeal, but also because of his calm demeanor, showing neither bitterness nor any desire for revenge. In media interviews, Luna spoke candidly, saying he held no resentment toward Yuka Takaoka. He believed she had acted in a moment of emotional collapse and loss of control, and that deep down, she was still a person with a good heart who had lost her way. Luna also acknowledged, somewhat paradoxically, that the incident had made his name widely known, attracting more clients and significantly increasing his earnings. However, he was always clear that this was not the kind of fame he had ever wanted to achieve. When asked whether he wished for Yuka's sentence to be extended, Luna firmly replied that he did not. He said he only wanted to put the past behind him, continue working, and use that painful experience as a reminder to live with greater appreciation for himself and for those around him. As of the time this video is being made, Yuka Takaoka has completed her 3-year and 6-month prison sentence and is officially free. After leaving the correctional facility, she initially chose to live a quiet life. However, not long after, Yuka reappeared on social media. She began posting new cosplay photos, sharing moments from her daily life, and quickly regained attention from online audiences. According to several sources, Some entertainment companies and small brands have reached out to Yuka, offering collaboration deals and attempting to capitalize on her controversial fame as a way to attract media attention. This sparked outrage across Japan, as many believed that instead of taking time for reflection and change, Yuka seemed to be re-idolized by a portion of fans who continued to see her as a real-life yandere. On various online forums, people pointed out that public curiosity and fascination were crossing moral boundaries, turning a serious and painful incident into a form of entertainment. Despite ongoing controversy, Yuka Takaoka, the woman once described as the symbol of obsessive love, has now returned to ordinary life, and her story remains one of the clearest examples of the dark side of internet fame. The story of Yuka Takaoka and Phoenix Luna is not only a case that shocked Japan, but also a powerful reminder of the dark side of human emotions when love crosses the boundaries of reason. It shows that even in a modern society, emotional pain, loneliness, and the longing to be loved can turn into tragedies no one ever wishes for. From this story, we learn that true love is not about possession. It is about respect, understanding, and knowing when to stop before emotions become blind. Thank you for staying with us until the end of today's episode of True Crime Documentary, where we tell real-life cases not just to capture attention, but to help us better understand humanity, the consequences of misguided choices, and the value of compassion. If you were moved by this story, please share the video to spread the message and leave a comment with words of encouragement for Phoenix Luna, the person who bravely overcame pain and continued to live a new life. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss the next stories on True Crime Documentary. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.